There's also a way of saying whoever that we want from outside, it's easy. The system itself will profile that player. So the system will profile the players and the coach is going for it. It's not about Atazwane, it's not about individuals, it's about the future of this club, you know. So having said that, I'm not worried about myself losing my job, because I knew that when I took over, when I took over this job, at some point I'm gonna have to, you know, give other people the opportunity. What I didn't know was for how long I'm gonna be, in this position. But at this present moment, I've got a task that I have to fulfill, and I'm doing exactly what the team has asked me, to do.
Coach, it's here from the that Christian Sally, let's say, is just signed with Chiefs, and he's also talked about the club with Super Sport United. Can you just give a potential update on that? And is there going to be any U-turns on some of the trials, like what happened to Kaizer after leaving and then coming back to sign? Or have you made a final decision on the trials we did during those, like the break?
When it comes to trials, I've given my technical report, to the management of the club. They'll obviously get back to me, actually to us, the technical staff. So wait for them, because obviously it's a process. And when it comes to new players that are coming in, that will come in the future, like I said, we are forever looking for players. We always want to sign quality players that are available. But at the present moment, we want to decide as to whom we think can come and add value, And until then, and yes, we'll take it from there.
Thank you very much, Coach. We're taking the last two. We'll start with you. If your hand has been up.
Coach, you give Arsenal as an example, and when you look at them, I think they've invested in terms of buying players, bringing in players and having that balance between, quality players and youth players. Do you feel that's an element that still lacks yet? Is it part of the plan to invest and get, good players to bring that balance in your squad?
As I mentioned earlier on, I said you can't just buy players for the sake of buying players. You first have to build a system and have pillars in place. And then that system itself now will make life easy for us to go and identify the players that we think are good enough, they've got the qualities of coming, and value. Arsenal, that's what they've done, and that is why you can see now their journey becoming, much easier and successful. It's simply because of that. If you look at the team that Arteta started with, yes, there was a lot of youngsters playing with energy and all that. I think he just brought in this season, this beginning of the season, about 3 or 4 players, not 8 or 9 players. So you have to build the structure. And also you have core. That core now will make life easy going forward. And there's no shortcut about it, unfortunately.
Good morning, Coach. Kaizer from Sport 24. Just talk us through the magnitude of the Chiefs Sundowns game. Everyone will talk about the derby, that being the biggest game, and understandably so. But on the other hand, when Chiefs or Pirates play Sundowns, a lot of people talk about the quality of the game and the less pressure that comes with it, as compared to the derby.
Most definitely, you can't compare the two. But when it comes to us, we treat all the game with respect. Same, approach. Because at the end of the day, what is at stake? It's 3 points. If it's a cup game, then we have to go through to the next round. But when it comes to Chiefs and Pirates, the history is unbelievable. So I don't think we can compare the two. The derby is in the middle.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about the issue of a club as big as Chiefs having to bring us in this day and era. That somehow raises questions about the club's scouting network. Why would a club as big as Chiefs go as far as bringing in players on trials instead of profiling them, going to watch them when they're playing and all of that? I mean, is that a route that Chiefs is now taking to be bringing players on trials? Doesn't that raise questions about the club scouting? Because of the trends in this day and era. There's so much access about players that you can profile a player without having to bring him on trial here at the club. Why is the club going in that route?
To be honest with you, we are not, conducting trials or doing trials. All the players that you've seen here coming to trial, they are lab. We profile them first, but we wanted to see them closely. We wanted to monitor them closely and be sure about what you're doing. Because a player, you can see him performing where else. Most of the time right now, when you are giving a footage of the player playing, you may find out that player, the last time he played was 2 seasons ago, but he will show it, as if he's scoring goals right now. So we try and follow that player, and do a proper research about that individual and make sure that as soon as he comes here, we know what we're looking for. Because they only show him scoring goals if he's a striker. They only show him winning, his 1v1 battles in the middle if he's a defensive midfielder. I'm just making that example. But you don't see many other aspects that can, help the player to tick or come and edge them. So those are not the things that you're looking for. And that is why we're taking that route of inviting those players. We are not doing trials. It's a case of we want to assess him, and have a closer look so that we can make a decision. It's best for us right now because we've brought in players in the past that we saw them, that we profile them, but because of Kaizer Chiefs, a different beast. When they come here, when they arrive here, then the pressure, when the pressure mounts, then they can't cope. Then now, when it comes to the club, we suffer again. We have to go out and look for another player. So we're trying to avoid it. We can't repeat the same mistake, many times as if we don't see what is happening. So we're trying to avoid it in short.
Coach, going back to this coming weekend against Sundowns, you look at that Chiefs have conceded 20 goals this season, conceded more than they've scored. Do you still feel that playing a 4-3-3 system where you are playing with full backs remains effective, whereas perhaps going into this match where it will be a high intensity match, perhaps a 3-4-3 with wing backs could work against a team that has proven that they've got technical insurance?
Like any other team, we've got our weaknesses, they've got their weaknesses. And as I alluded earlier on, that when you watch the 2 last games that they played, they were just unfortunate. When you look at other teams, how they exerted themselves, took the game to them, they were just unfortunate not at least to get a point. And luck is on their side at the moment, but let alone they're also a very good team that is doing very well for themselves, and because you can see that there is chemistry within the squad. You understand what I'm saying? So the focus is not on Sundowns with us. The focus is on us because we've been making mistakes that have been costly, and we're trying to work on that. We're trying to improve on that. And going forward, we can score at any given time. Unfortunately, the last game that we played, we didn't score, but we look at the number of chances that we created, we're just unfortunate not to score. So the focus is on us as Kaizer Chiefs, not on Sundowns.
Go Temba and close with Tshepo.
Coach, I'm just tempted to ask you about your bravery. I mean, I saw a Shabalala getting a run, and Bobo getting a run, starting the lineup, and often fans will say they want to see young players coming in, and you've done that. I see that the TDC has got your young Mekati, your Fundo Vilagazi. What is your plan when it comes to the integration of the youngsters from across the road into the side, into the main team? What is your plan based on that? I mean, not looking at the results, not forgetting the results, but that you also need to get results as Atazwani in your technical team. Where's the space in that? Is there as much hope for the young boys on the other side that they come in there? And what's the time span that you've got for that? And on the second one, just a quick one, it's 2 boys from the south of Soweto, from the north of Soweto, Midlands and Orlando, who will be playing against each other in such a big match. What does that say about local coaches and the standard of football coaching in terms of mentoring of our former players and of our administrators into coaching? When you look at that this game is one of the biggest games in the calendar, and it's two Soweto boys against each other.
Yeah, I'll start with the integration of players. I think we've done tremendous work, and we'll focus on that because it's very, very, very key for the club, for the fact that the chairman has invested in this project. It is very, very key for us not to neglect. As right now, we pay the price because of neglecting it in the past. So the focus is on that right now, but trying also to strike a balance. And as I said, we've done well so far. Unfortunately, the results have been fluctuating, but then we're in a position where we can redeem ourselves. And as time goes on, we know that as soon as everything gets well and we gel as a team, then we start grinding results again. But when you look at Duduzi himself, when you look at Mushini, when you look at Swani, they've done well. They've done well, and as I said, it's a game of opportunities. It's because of some of the senior players, due to injuries, they are unavailable, and now the boys are coming in and doing very well. And also those who will be coming from, who are training with us, we're actually very, very close to us and the development. We just, straight across. So we walk across, they walk across. So that's the reason we have the development. Otherwise, we should stop the development if you're not going to take full advantage of using the players. The two coaches, look, it's good for, I don't want to say for Soweto. It's good for South African football, it's good for South Africa at large, it's good for other coaches, young coming coaches who also want to, be in the position that you are in, not knowing how hard it is, to lead, in such a big team. Also, what Coach Rolani is doing a great job with the support that he's getting from Coach Steve and Coach Manova and from the club also. So that is why it is benefiting South African football.
Yeah, speaking from the SABC coach, other PSL coaches have already considered that it's going to be impossible for other teams to stop, the defending champions. I just need to get your thoughts. Do you feel or think that other teams can still mount a serious challenge and give Sundowns for a run for their money in the remainder of the season?
Look, as I said, we are running our own race. And I remember saying it's going to go down to the wire that time because I felt it our chances, like any other coach. And when you look at the coaches who said whatever they said that the league is gone already, when you look at their teams, where were their teams? They were out, obviously. So it was easy for them to say that. But for me and many and other coaches who stand a good chance of challenging, we couldn't say that. There is no way I can be the head coach of Kaizer Chiefs and give up. And then what do I want? Why do I want to be the head coach of Kaizer Chiefs when I give up so easily? I can't do that. Yes, it looks like Sundowns, they've taken it, but we're still not going to give up. Because this is football. I've seen things happening. I've seen Pirates leading Kaizer Chiefs with 15 points. We went all the way to win the league. Not because of Pirates they did badly, not because of when we lost the league to Sundowns with 13 points leading the league, Chiefs was bad at that time, but because of things that do happen. So I can't give up, and I'm not putting ourselves under pressure. And I'm not saying again we're gonna win the league. All I'm saying was that time I had to say that as the head coach of Kaizer Chiefs, that whoever that was talking was in the position number 15. And us, we were in the position, at that time, we were position 4. And when you look at the points gap, was 10 points that time. So we stand a good chance of competing. And for that matter, we are Kaizer Chiefs. We play to win every game. Unfortunately, the results have been fluctuating.
Coach Atazwane, thank you very much. Members of the media, thank you. Enjoy by the Thank you very much.